Alright guys, what's going on? Andrew Zima right here with you we're going to talk about WWE news and rumors here tonight. Now, WWE, everything wrestling news. Number 3, number 4, I don't fucking know. I have to go through my videos. All I know is I haven't done this series in a while, okay? So we're going to jump right back on that horse, and who better to start off jumping right back on the horse with the story by Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin is our main topic of conversation. He's our main focus on this series right now, on the show of this series right now. There's always been a lot of talk. Every time WrestleMania year rolls around, there's always talk of Stone Cold Steve Austin, one of the most popular, if not the most popular, wrestler, performer, superstar, whatever the fuck you want to call him, of all time. Okay? The biggest run in history, the biggest high in history during the Attitude Era, Stone Cold Steve Austin, the anti-hero running against the Machine, Austin versus McMahon, that whole storyline. Biggest run in WWE history, okay? So there's always talk when WrestleMania season rolls around of Stone Cold Steve Austin getting back in that ring, because he ended his WrestleMania, he ended at WrestleMania. He ended his wrestling career at WrestleMania 19 versus his in-ring career, wrestling-wise, against The Rock. It wasn't billed, it wasn't advertised as his last match of his career, but it was. A lot of neck problems, Stone Cold retired, okay? That was his last match. And of course, if you're any wrestling fan out there, if you're any type of wrestling fan out there right now, whenever WrestleMania season rolls around, or any time of the year, you want to see Stone Cold Steve Austin get back in the middle of that square circle, okay, and stomp a mud hole in someone. You know you want to see that if you're a wrestling fan. You know you do. So there's rumors. There's rumors every year, but this year in particular, as WrestleMania 32 season rolls around, and it's almost here. It's almost here. As WrestleMania 32 season rolls around, considering WrestleMania 32 is in Stone Cold Steve Austin's home state of Texas, Dallas, Texas, the rumors are really running rampant that Steve Austin might come back for one more match, and his opponent might be Brock Lesnar. Okay, so if you don't know the story between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Brock Lesnar, I think it was back in 2003. It was a match. It was supposed to be on a meaningless show. That's why Stone Cold Steve Austin wouldn't do the job. He was supposed to do the job to Brock Lesnar, at that time, an upcoming star. Steve Austin was supposed to put Brock Lesnar over and make him to become that much more of a huge star in the WWE. Stone Cold Steve Austin didn't want to do the job, not because he was selfish, not because he didn't want to lose, not because he didn't want to put talent over, but he didn't want to do the job to Brock Lesnar because he felt it wasn't on a big enough stage. He also elaborated on this on his podcast, on the Brock Lesnar Go to Hell tour, that part 2. It was a great listen. If you haven't seen it, go check that out. Anyway, back to what I'm saying. He didn't want to do the job to Brock Lesnar because, like I said, it wasn't on a big enough stage. He felt like it was a meaningless show. So what he did, Stone Cold Steve Austin, he famously took his ball and went home. And he left the company for about a year. Okay, he came back eventually, and that's the story. So he never ended up facing Brock Lesnar in a squared circle. He never ended up facing Brock Lesnar in the WWE. Okay, that would have been fucking great TV. Fucking great TV. We ended up getting a little sampling, a little bit, okay, of these two putting their hands on each other when, back in 2003, 2004, Stone Cold Steve Austin going on a SmackDown taping, trying to get his ATV back from Brock Lesnar. I believe Lesnar gave Stone Cold Steve Austin an F5. Okay, you guys can see that on the WWE YouTube channel or anywhere on the internet. Okay, so we had a little taste of it. Then they were in the ring together. Brock Lesnar got stunned during that, kind of awkward wrestling match between Goldberg and Lesnar at WrestleMania 20. So, if Steve Austin were to come back and step in the middle of the squared circle, step in the middle of the ring, step between those ropes, the one man that I would want to see Stone Cold Steve Austin face is Brock Lesnar. That's a fucking money match. Think about it. WrestleMania 32, okay? in Stone Cold Steve Austin's home state of Texas. If you build that, you don't have to put, well, I guess you can put it the main event. Main event. This is the headline. WrestleMania 32. You have Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Brock Lesnar. One night only. One more match. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Only one night only. His very last match of his career. Okay, this is it. This is the last match. Do you know how much money that would make? That would just equally right there generate quite possibly the biggest WrestleMania history revenue-wise. That's money. That's money right there. It sells itself. What I just said right there, the bad blood between these two, Steve Austin not wanting to do the job to Les, it sells itself. It books itself. Okay, the bookers right at WWE already have a hard enough time with meeting with storylines. It books itself here. Okay, so make it happen, WWE. Make it happen. Although it is up to Stone Cold Steve Austin whether he wants to get back in the middle of that ring, and he elaborated on this, I believe. Where was this? Okay. He recently spoke with Brian Fritz, I believe his name is, in a new Fox Sports piece. Okay. He elaborated on his return to Raw, the promo he gave in Dallas, Texas, right at the beginning of the show. Here's what Austin has to say about it. It was what it was. It was short, brief. I had 4 announcements to make. I got handed a piece of paper. Yeah, I'll be ready for Raw. Yeah, I'll be ready for WrestleMania 32 in Dallas. I've got Brock Lesnar coming up in a couple hours, and I'm going to introduce The Undertaker right now. So, when he ain't been on TV for 4 years, and he'd really like to go out there and uncork a promo and just raise hell for 6 to 10 minutes, it felt like it left a lot to be desired for my part, but it was doing a favor for the WWE. Okay, so Steve Austin coming back. Anytime Steve Austin, in my opinion, or I'm sure a lot of wrestling fans' opinions, come back in any sort of capacity, whether it be a wrestling capacity, whether it be an authority figure capacity, whatever. I just love to see Stone Cold Steve Austin. He actually has his own beer line. Steve Austin has his own beer. He got a Steve Weiss. I said the name of it, but he does have his own beer line. And he also talked to Brian Fritz about, like I just elaborated on, possibly facing Brock Lesnar in one more match. Here's what Austin has to say about facing Lesnar possibly in one more match. A little disheartening for me, okay, but I'll read it to you guys. I think 99.9%, and of course all you fucking nerds out there, all you guys, Austin fans, still holding out hope that he might come back in the ring, you're going to be saying, so there's still a chance. Well, listen, I think 99.9% I've had my last match, said Austin. If I felt froggy and wanted to jump for any particular reason, just because I said right now I had the fervor for it, I'd like to do it. But for all practical, intrinsic, nice word, whatever kind of purposes, I'm done. Again, if I felt like it, could I? Yeah. That's what Shawn Michaels says all the time. He doesn't want to go back in that ring because he ended it perfectly against The Undertaker. But he said in an interview, people ask him all the time, do you think you can go for one more match? And his response to that is, yeah, I can go for about 5 more matches. He just doesn't want to. Okay, so I've accepted that Shawn Michaels will never wrestle again. I haven't only accepted, I'm one of those nerds out there, haven't only accepted Steve Austin. Let's get back to it. Okay, again, if I felt like it, could I? Yeah. Would I? In a dream world, possibly. I'm not trying to promote a match, and pretty much I'm done. I would always reserve the option. I considered facing Lesnar for just a brief moment, but again, just like I tell everybody, what's on the backside of a match like that, I got out of the business when I got out of the business when I got out. The hunger was out of my system. It's almost like getting off an addiction. I'm not addicted to wrestling anymore. That's not a good thing to hear if you're an Austin fan. For a long time I was. So what's in the backside of that match for me? A whole lot of nothing. So it would be a lot of build-up, and to me, it would be almost anticlimactic. Okay. I would accept it at this point from that. That's why when you're always expecting, you're a big wrestling fan looking for hoping, praying, okay, for someone to make their return. Whenever you hear something like this, you always have that voice. Tell me if you guys feel this too. Always have the voice in the back of your head saying, No, he just trying to swerve the viewers from thinking, yeah, he's not coming back, and he makes that big surprise turn. He's trying to turn away the viewers by just saying that. He's just saying that, it's a work. But this, I'm pretty sure this is a shoot, and I've slowly accepted the fact that Steve Austin is ready to hang up his boots. Okay, like he said, he's not addicted to wrestling anymore. You hear stories all the time when wrestlers retire. Like, for example, Edge. He retired, unfortunately, not under his own volition. He had a neck injury. Okay? And right now, he's okay. He's away from the business. But as soon as he stopped working, he just couldn't get that itch away. He couldn't get that itch of stepping into the ring and wrestling. He couldn't get that off. Okay? But you can see Austin right now. He's away from the business for a little over a decade. He's done with that part of his life. He might come back, like we saw in the promo in Dallas, in a few short capacities, a few appearances for the WWE, doing a favor for Vince McMahon. But in-ring wise, that part of his life is done, and we just have to accept that. Okay, so of course I'm disappointed. I would have loved to see fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin in Texas versus Brock Lesnar, the Beast Incarnate. But listen, people, listen to my voice right now. You have to accept the fact. Stone Cold Steve Austin, mark my words right now. Okay, I would love to be stood corrected, but listen to my voice right now. Stone Cold Steve Austin will never wrestle again. Okay, that's just not gonna happen. And that's not me putting a downer on things, putting a damper. But it was actually a little cruel when he had Paul Heyman on his podcast for the WWE Network about a few months ago when he, cut that promo. He said he got a promo mood. He didn't mean to lead any fans on, that he might get back in the ring with Brock Lesnar. So that was not a good thing for Austin to do. That was a mistake on his part. He said in an interview that he didn't mean to do that. He just got into the moment. My bad. What are you going to do? So, Steve Austin, okay. Would I love to see him return? Of course I would. Come on, of course I would. Do I think he will return in any sort of in-ring capacity for the WWE at WrestleMania 32 or any time after that? No, I do not. That's my view on Stone Cold Steve Austin possibly returning to the WWE. Now, I also have another story for you guys on this number 3, number 4 edition of Everything Wrestling News. Seth Rollins, okay? Right now, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, okay? He's been that way since WrestleMania 31. He's one of the best things going, if not the best thing going, for the WWE. He supposedly got injured at a WWE live event. If you guys didn't see the video, you can just type in Seth Rollins, or I'll send you a link actually to this page of a video with. It was at a live event in Dublin, Ireland. Okay. It was a no-hold-barred match between Kane and Seth Rollins. Okay, and there's a table set up in the middle of the ring. Kane going for a superplex from the top rope. Seth Rollins counters. Jimmy goes for the sunset flip over Kane to smash him through the table. He lands awkwardly on his leg, possibly tweaking that knee, and he couldn't complete the move. It was a botch on his part. So apparently it hurt him a lot actually after the match also, because he didn't leave under his own power. He had to be helped to the back by the WWE medical staff, the training staff. So pretty serious to have your biggest star right now, the face of your company, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, injured like this possibly. We'll see how he performs in the upcoming Raws, SmackDown tapings, how he performs at Survivor Series against Roman Reigns for the championship. That should be a great match between these two. Roman Reigns is getting a lot better in the ring. So we'll see how this plays out, but not good news. Not good news for the WWE right now. We also have news, guys, on the upcoming Survivor Series match with The Undertaker versus the Wyatt family. It's pretty obvious after Undertaker was carried off by the Wyatt family in Hell in a Cell. Kane was carried off by the Wyatt family on the following night on Raw. Okay? And there are news and rumors that the possible teammates for Undertaker and Kane, okay, include Sting. Sting is a possible teammate for Undertaker and Undertaker and Kane at Survivor Series versus the Wyatt family. That's going to be a fucking great match. Survivor Series is going to be a damn good show. Okay, just the team of the Wyatt family. You have Bray Wyatt, Eric Rowan, Braun Strowman, and Luke Harper. Okay, 4 big brutes going at it against the nostalgia team of Undertaker, Kane, Sting. I'm not too sure about Sting coming back. He just got fucking injured in a nasty powerbomb to the turnbuckle at Night of Champions. So I don't think he'll be back. But this is reported from pretty reliable source, in my opinion. You know, I like to try to get at least some reliable sources. And the Wrestling Observer newsletter, you know, Dave Meltzer, that's very reliable. So right here, the Wrestling Observer newsletter indicates that this week that Sting could be an option if he's available to wrestle after the injuries he suffered at Night of Champions. Although it's possible the match ends up being a 2-on-4 elimination style with Kane and Taker versus Bray Wyatt, Harper, Rowan, and Strowman. We'll see how it all plans out. Like I said, you know, should be a fucking great show. Great show. Maybe we see Baron Corbin. Maybe he's like one of those crazy motherfuckers. Overall, that's what I have for you guys. Stone Cold Steve Austin, 99.9% sure he won't wrestle again. We have a few injuries. Seth Rollins possibly injured his knee. We know Randy Orton's out with a shoulder injury. And we have Sting possibly coming back once again to wrestle, this time at Survivor Series in the elimination match. Guys, if you liked my video here, if you like my commentating style, speaking about the WWE, you know, I like to view myself as a pretty passionate supporter of the WWE. I'm a big fan of pro wrestling. So, when I talk about the WWE in general, when I talk about wrestling topic, I think I'm pretty passionate. So, if you like my videos, you already know what to fucking do. I don't need to use the cliche. If you like the video, hit that like button. Smash that like button. I don't need to say that because you guys already know what to do. You're going to like it anyway. Okay? If you like the video. If you don't like the video, okay, don't like the video. I'm sorry to say you didn't like it. If you want to see more videos, you know what to do. Hit that fucking subscribe button. Guys, I appreciate you listening to my voice, okay? And like always, you'll definitely have more videos coming up. I'm off from school, so in the upcoming days, so you'll see more videos than I normally would. Guys, have a great night, and peace out.